So the UK press conference happened not too long ago, and you guys kept plastering me with messages and comments like, Andre, where's your video about the UK press conference? Andre, are you gonna talk about the press conference? And I mean, I was going to, but I felt like it was getting kind of repetitive. And don't get me wrong, there's been some notable moments, like Eddie Hearn bringing out True Geordie to host the event, KSI bringing a dog on stage, or Logan Paul bringing his A game as a French mime. It was a solid show they put on, but we've seen it all before. They've had 4 press conferences at this point. We've heard them do the talking, we've seen them do the bits. KSI says he's going to knock out Logan Paul, Logan says he's going to knock out KSI. So instead of talking about everything that's already been said, I'm gonna attempt to do something a little more out of the box with this video and talk about what happens to the one that gets knocked out. What happens to the loser of the boxing match between KSI and Logan Paul. And before we get into it, I just want to say a quick thank you to our sponsor. Create your own website with Wix. Their support helps me put more time into my videos and provide better content for you guys, so check them out at the link below, but we'll talk about it more at the end of the video. In sports like boxing or MMA, although the concept is simple, punch the guy in front of you and don't let him punch you, the psychological aspect plays a much more important role than the physical one. It's why, for example, Conor McGregor defeated Jose Aldo in 2015, marking one of the most famous UFC fights in history. Jose Aldo was the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world in mixed martial arts. Featherweight world champion, undefeated for over a decade. However, Conor McGregor, who at that point was rapidly becoming a pop culture phenomenon, had played a masterful psychological game throughout the press conferences leading up to the fight with Aldo. And when the highly anticipated event finally happened, the fight lasted 13 seconds. 13 seconds is all it took for McGregor to knock out the best MMA fighter in the world, because mentally, he had already won long before the fight had even started. Maybe from a superficial point of view, one would think that combat sports are unnecessarily dangerous, or look at it as nothing more than a glorified brawl. But in reality, mind games play a much more important role than it would appear. I've heard boxing be described as a form of chess, where instead of pieces on a board, you're using your entire body to outsmart the opponent. There is technique, which you can master. There's levels of strength that you can achieve in order to maximize the potential of the machine you're operating. But the human body can only do so much. The mind, on the other hand, has infinite capabilities. It's the skill of the driver in the machine that determines the success or failure against the opponent. A good fighter might be in great shape, have quick footwork, and know all the tricks in the book, but an excellent fighter has a focused synergy between the body and the mind. Similarly to McGregor and Aldo's UFC fight, KSI versus Joe Weller is also an interesting case study.
JJ landing the jab early. Right hook by JJ, another jab by JJ. Joe not answering. Joe hasn't thrown a punch yet. Joe needs to start throwing. Joe needs to throw. Joe needs to throw a punch.
And Joe Weller himself made a video about this recently, titled "A Message to the Loser of KSI versus Logan Paul."
You work so hard aiming that there's only one outcome, like you don't even consider losing, right? For 7 months of my life, I absolutely dedicated myself. I'm gonna work this hard. I know I'm working harder than him, and without a doubt, that's gonna pay off. To lose like in that manner, I got scared of losing. And I think that's why I did nothing in the fight. Part of it subconsciously was that I had the fear of like, I don't want to do something wrong and allow him to do anything. So I ended up I think I just did nothing. Why didn't I do anything? Why didn't I throw punches like I'd be doing every day for 7 months in camp? I showed absolutely nothing that I'd been training for and that I'd been doing. Why? Because the whole situation somehow ate me up. But the second I got backstage, I absolutely broke down in tears.
I think it's very interesting to hear Joe Weller talk openly about this experience of losing in a fight that had so many people watching who weren't traditional boxing enthusiasts. One thing we have to keep in mind is that the stakes are so much higher in YouTube boxing than regular boxing. No matter how much KSI and Logan want to act like they're professional fighters, the dynamic is just not the same. Two professional fighters go in the ring empty-handed, with the single mission of defeating the opponent and earning a belt which will attest their dominance. On the other hand, YouTubers are kings in the eyes of their fans, fans. The moment they go in the ring, both of them bring their crown with them. And their mission is not only to earn the belt, but to dethrone the other one, take their crown, and humiliate them in front of their own fans. That may not be the case with YouTubers like, say, FaZe Sensei, who has a deeper respect for the sport. But for KSI and Logan, they've gone on record saying they straight up hate each other and they want to take each other down.
I want to make him a meme. I want to make him a meme. I'm going to make him a meme. I'm going to knock him out, and I'm gonna have that clip replayed over and over and over again all over the internet. And it's going to be amazing.
And I'm gonna win. And I'm gonna make you a meme. And you're gonna be my bro. I'm gonna throw you in water. Did you bake the cake?
For professional boxers, the rules are much more clear-cut. The sport is their job. Taking a loss is expected at some point or another, and losing oftentimes comes with a certain amount of respect. But in a world where your entire career is so reliant on feedback from the community, YouTube comments, Twitter replies, Instagram comments, any YouTuber that steps in the ring risks having that loss define them in the eyes of the community for the rest of their lives. If KSI loses, the Low Gang will forever make sure he's reminded of it. If Logan Paul loses, KSI's fans will never let him forget it. When these two tell each other, I'm going to make a meme out of you, even though they both may fully believe it's gonna go down the way they see it in their heads, one of them will be crushed under the immense pressure that the loss comes with.
This ain't like normal sport where, you know, you compete, you lose, everyone's like, oh, unlucky, and then you carry on. It's like, this sticks with you. The people that obviously were on Team KSI and probably only got to know of me through this fight and just saw me going at the guy that they love, they still just want to rub it in till this day. So like, no matter what I tweet, post, like whatever, I'm always reminded, like, just constantly of it. Like, no matter what, it's like, shut up, like, it just is. You don't want to post, you don't want to put anything out, you don't want to voice your opinion, because all you're going to get back is just people saying, you're just upset that you lost. And I am. Like, I obviously am.
Now, the benefit of doing YouTube as a career, as opposed to regular boxers, is that you can play it off and take ownership of your defeat. If you do become a meme, you can lean into it. For example, Joe Weller tried to do just that by appearing in Jake Paul's music video called I'm Gonna Knock Joe Weller Out.
I'm gonna knock Joe Weller out. He's gonna beat it.
But I mean, I don't know, is it taking ownership or is it just making a fool out of yourself? I'm genuinely curious, what do you think? Let me know in the comments. But I think the question with this rematch isn't necessarily who's going to win. Both Logan Paul and KSI have equal odds of taking the other one down. The real question is, who is better equipped to recover from a loss? That, in my opinion, is a much more fascinating perspective. And both of them seem to have a level of self-awareness to begin with. At first glance, KSI's brand would seem cool, stoic, and unbothered. His music very much reflects that.
I'm a G when it comes to the guap. I get M's when I play, I get M's when I stop.
However, in his content, he doesn't shy away from laughing at himself.
KSI looks like a burnt version of Aubameyang. I took the bandana off.
I mean, I thought it was special. I thought it was unique, but come to think of it, I'm probably not going to be the last YouTuber to put JJ on a canvas. See you later.
On the other hand, Logan Paul's brand is also very goofy and self-deprecating, and he goes to great lengths to put himself in awkward or weird situations.
I just sat with my financial manager, he told me that. Like, I'm definitely going downhill from here.
Did that make you nervous?
Yeah, absolutely, I'm terrified. I think it's the beginning of the end.
Even his presence at the UK press conference was a meme in itself.
Let's go, champ.
I feel like both KSI and Logan Paul are able to laugh at themselves, but will they be as confident if they're in the position of the loser? What do you think? Which one of them do you think would handle the loss better? And since we're so close to the fight, how do you think the fight is gonna go down? Let me know down in the comments. And if you're looking to create a website, do it using Wix. They've decided to keep supporting the channel, which is great because they actually provide a great service to anyone who's looking to expand their business online. Whether you're a longtime professional or you've never made a website in your life, Wix has tools specifically catered to your level. I myself am by no means an expert, so the drag and drop features they've got are very helpful. With Halloween coming up, I decided to give my website a little seasonal revamp. So I started browsing their customizable templates and chose the one that seemed most fitting for my needs. Then I simply went ahead and added my own custom pictures to the landing page, added some text, and customized the call to action button. The final touch I knew I needed to have was a contact form, so if you guys write something in there, I will most likely read needed. And that was it. In little more than an hour, my website was looking fresh and good to go. And I definitely would not have been able to do all of that without Wix. So if you need a website, Wix is the way to go. Go to wix.com/go/AndrejCerba. The link is going to be down below, and start building your own website today. Thank you to Wix for sponsoring this video. Thank you for watching. And as always, we'll see you again very soon.